Hello, Epic friends. We are continuing in the book of Matthew. We are in Matthew 27, and we're going to be reading verses 11 through 31. All right. Make sure you have your Bible. Grab your comma journal and a pen so that you can be writing down all the different things, thoughts, and ideas that you have as you use the comma method to read and understand this passage a little bit differently. Comma Quick Start Guide at the back of your journal will help you with some helpful tips and hints. There's also a video if that's an easier way for you to think about that and to hear that. But we're going to get started. Matthew 27, verses 11. Jesus before Pilate. Meanwhile, Jesus stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, "Are you the king of the Jews?" "You have said so," Jesus replied. When he was accused by the chief priests and the elders, he gave no answer. Then Pilate asked him, "Don't you hear the testimony they are bringing against you?" But Jesus made no reply, not even to a single charge, to the great amazement of the governor. Now it was the governor's custom at the festival to release a prisoner chosen by the crowd. At that time, they had a well-known prisoner whose name was Jesus Barabbas. So when the crowd had gathered, Pilate asked them, "Which one do you want me to release to you, Jesus Barabbas or Jesus, who is called the Messiah?" For he knew it was out of self-interest that they had handed Jesus over to him. While Pilate was sitting on the judge's seat, his wife sent him a message. "Don't have anything to do with that innocent man, for I have suffered a great deal today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and the elders persuaded the crowd to ask for Barabbas and to have Jesus executed. "Which of the two do you want me to release to you?" asked the governor. "Barabbas," they answered. "What shall I do then with Jesus who is called the Messiah?" Pilate asked. They all answered, "Crucify him." "Why? What crime has he committed?" asked Pilate. But they shouted all the louder, "Crucify him!" When Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but that instead an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands in front of the crowd. "I am innocent of this man's blood," he said. "It is your responsibility." All the people answered, "His blood is on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas to them. But he had Jesus flogged and handed him over to be crucified. The soldiers mock Jesus is the theme of this next passage. Then the governor's soldiers took Jesus into the praetorium and gave the whole company of soldiers around him. They stripped him and put a scarlet robe on him, and then twisted together a crown of thorns, and set it on his head. They put a staff in his right hand. Then they knelt in front of him and mocked him. "Hail, King of the Jews," they said. They spit on him and took the staff and struck him on the head again and again. After they had mocked him, they took off the robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him away to crucify him. Oh, a lot happening in that passage. Make sure you take a look at your Comma Quick Start Guide. It's going to help you dig a little bit deeper and understand and enjoy that passage and just understand it and apply it to your life a little bit more. So comma, the letters in comma. The C stands for context. What's happening before this book was written or while this book was written. Observations, what do you see? Think of treats without the vowels. TRTS. The theme, that bold heading at the top of the passage, repeating words or ideas, truths about God, something striking, something that stood out to you or surprised you. And then that M in comma is message. What does God say? Put on your specs, SPECS. Is there a sin to confess? That S, the P, promise to claim. E, is there an example to follow? Is God showing you how to live? Is there a command to obey? Statement about God, something true about God that you learned from reading this part of the God story. That second M in comma is meditation, so you're going to think about all that for a little bit. And then the A in comma, application. What will you do? How will you apply what you just read to your life? All right? Think about those things, reread, re-listen, and then we'll see you back here tomorrow.